Hey, Pally.
Today is Monday, September 17th, 2018.
And InFocus starts right now. Gas explosions in Massachusetts disrupted multiple communities.
And there's an opportunity for seniors to work on college apps on campus. All that and more is coming up on today's show.
Welcome to InFocus. I'm Anushka Sharma.
And I'm Maddie Drucker.
There's a lot going on around campus today.
Here are some important announcements from today's campus bulletin.
This Wednesday, ASB will be having its first Cookies on the Quad of the year. There will be free cookies and milk on the quad during brunch. The NACAC Performing and Visual Arts College Fair takes place on Thursday, September 20th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Ruth Asawa San Francisco School of the Arts. For more information and to register, visit the URL on your screen.
If you're more interested in STEM, there's another event happening soon to cater to your interests. Those interested in the nursing profession can attend talks from many different areas of nursing and explore different nursing career opportunities. The event takes place on Tuesday, September 25th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Lai Ka-shing Center. Interested students should RSVP by September 24th, 2018 to the link on screen.
Moving on now from what's going on around campus to what's happening in the world and locally today.
Let's take a look at what's topping today's headlines in today's News Minute.
Residents in 3 suburban Massachusetts towns were allowed to return to their homes yesterday following Thursday's gas explosions and fires that killed 1 person and injured at least 25. The explosions, which set off scores of fires, affected about 8,600 homes and businesses. The official cause of the explosions is still unknown, according to the National Transportation Safety Board Chairman Robert Sumwaite, but he hopes the cause will be determined soon.
The world's strongest storm this year, Typhoon Mangkhut, continued its path of destruction across Southeast Asia over the weekend, reaching mainland China on Sunday afternoon after pummeling Hong Kong and killing dozens in the Philippines. Winds of 107 miles per hour and gusts of up to 138 miles per hour were reported, which is stronger than Hurricane Florence, which hit North Carolina over the weekend.
Psychology professor at Palo Alto University, Christine Blasey Ford, was identified Sunday to the Washington Post as the author of the confidential letter that accuses Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her in the 1980s. In a statement Friday, Kavanaugh said, "I categorically and unequivocally deny this allegation. I did not do this back in high school or at any time." Senator Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, urged the committee chair, Senator Chuck Grassley, to postpone the vote until, at the very minimum, these serious and credible allegations are thoroughly investigated. But Grassley responded by saying the timing of this revelation is disturbing and raises a lot of questions about Democrats' tactics and motives to bring this to the rest of the committee's attention, only now rather than during these steps along the way. The Me Too movement is making history, but now it's time to learn about events that have already made it into the history books.
And Thayer Kacher, our very own resident historian, has been learning more.
What do you have for us today, Thayer?
Well, 40 years ago today, President Carter helped create one of the most influential peace agreements between the nations of Egypt and Israel. Signed by Egyptian President Anwar el-Sadat and Israel Prime Minister Menahem Begin. The Camp David Accords lay the groundwork for a permanent peace agreement between Egypt and Israel, after 3 decades of disagreements. The accords were negotiated during 12 days of intensive talks at President Jimmy Carter's Camp David retreat in Maryland. The final peace agreement, the first between Israel and one of its Arab neighbors, was signed in March 1979. Sadat and Begin were jointly awarded the 1978 Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts. That's all from me. Back to you, Maddie and Anushka.
Palo Alto Teen Arts Council hosts open mic nights, poetry jams, clothing swaps, and many more teen-run events.
Sam Miller has been researching the story and has more on this.
Teen Arts Council, an organization of teenagers from around Palo Alto, is responsible for putting on creativity-oriented events for the community, such as open mic night and clothing swap. I attended one of their weekly meetings and sat down with the organization's president to find out more about what it means to get involved.
Teen Arts Council is a community for teen artists, basically to get to create events together. We do stuff ranging from open mics to poetry slams to clothing swaps to film festivals. We like to fund projects, artistic projects, that is, that teens want to put on.
Teen Arts Council meets every Wednesday. Everyone is allowed to attend, and anyone is allowed to work on events they're passionate about.
In the meetings, we can expect to plan the events, start working on perhaps getting funding and getting the word out there about what it is that we do. So we have an executive board, but also you can be a head of a committee for an event or just be on a committee for an event and help the event sort of run. Also, you can help create new events and sort of help us run and work those throughout.
For InFocus, I'm Sam Miller.
Can we do it then?
Thanks for that, Sam.
The school year is coming into full swing, and so are Pally Sports. And with Pally Sports comes Pally Sports News.
Max Bonstetter is in the studio now with more. How are the scores looking today, Max?
The scores are looking good, Maddie. Let's get right to the scores. It was a great Friday night for Pally football, away at Aragon. First, the JV team brought home a big win, 41-6. Varsity also brought the hurt, finishing the game with a score of 34-7. Aiden Chang was a beast, racking up 188 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. The varsity football squad is now undefeated at 4-0. Boys water polo faced off against Archbishop Mitty on Saturday. The JV squad remained undefeated with the win. Varsity eked out a win, as well as finishing with a tight 13-11 victory in overtime. Girls volleyball had a series of tournaments on Saturday. Girls varsity volleyball beat Menlo Atherton by a score of 2-1 in the Chandler Invitational. Girls JV volleyball came up a bit short though, losing to Lowell 2-0 at the SHC tournament. And the girls freshman volleyball team beat Gunn 2-1 at the Woodside Invitational. Today is shaping up to be a Sacred Heart Prep battle with 3 matches on the schedule. Girls tennis faces off against Sacred Heart Prep with JV on the road at 4 p.m. and varsity at home, also at 4 p.m. Finally, boys varsity volleyball plays away at Sacred Heart Prep at 4 p.m. Good luck to all teams playing today. Back to you.
Thanks, Max. The weather's been really weird lately. It's really cold in the morning.
Yeah, and then it gets warmer in the evening. It makes it kind of hard to decide what to wear, right?
Yeah. I think Ingrid could help us with that.
Moving on now from our daily pick to our daily weather report.
Our meteorologist Ingrid Pychow is in the studio now with today's weather report.
Ingrid, what can we expect?
Well, as most of us saw at lunch, it was nice and sunny, but will it continue? Today, the weather stands at 69 degrees Fahrenheit, the high is 71, and the low is 54, with a wind blowing at 11 miles per hour. The humidity stands at 50%, and there's no chance of rain today. Now looking at Tuesday, the high is going to be 71, and the low is going to be 53, and it's going to be partly cloudy. Same as Wednesday, the high is going to be 77, and the low is going to be 53. Looking at our forecast, you can see that this week is going to be mostly sunny. However, tomorrow is going to be really partly cloudy. The highs are going to keep rising to the 80s, to the low 80s, and they're going to remain on the high 70s for the most part. For the lows, they're going to remain on the mid 50s. Looking at the Doppler map for the Bay Area, you can see that in San Francisco and in Oakland, it's kind of chilly, but as you go down to Palo Alto and San Jose, you can see that it gets warmer and warmer. That's all from me. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Ingrid. Well, that does it for today's episode.
Be sure to visit our website to check out old episodes, check the bulletin, or to send us an email.
Until next time, have a great day, Pally.